Hello guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a little brief guide, some tips and tricks on how you can win more control games on Ranked Vanguard. The particular gameplay you're seeing right here is a bit of a weird one if you're used to my channel because I'm using an AR, which doesn't normally happen. But yeah, I decided to use an AR this game just because the people I was playing with were a bunch of SMGs really, so you can't really play 4 SMGs. I'll go 49 and 19. So yeah, I thought it'd be a good example of you know, how to win those control games, because for me, back in Cold War when I first started playing ranked or control, it was one of the harder game modes for me to master. So hopefully this video helps one of you guys out at least. But yeah, so let's crack on with it. First and foremost, the current format to decide. I don't know how I won that gunfight. The current format to decide what team gets defense if it gets to around 5 is by kills, so or lives. So if after the 2 attacks and 2 defends you have, say for example you've taken more lives than you have more lives left at the end of the rounds compared to the enemy team, you'll be on defense, because generally defense is the better side to be on for that round 5, because they're usually easier to win. With that in mind, you don't want to push completely to the objective when you're attacking. If you're attacking and you feel like your lives are getting low, just pull back. You can literally, I know it's boring and I know it's tedious, but the way in which this game is formulated and the way it works at the moment, you could literally just sit back. If you really want to be secure and you knew you were lives up, now this is a quick thing, the easiest way to know how many lives you've got is just to, if you're not sure, if you're not good at mental maths, just take note of what lives are left at the top of your screen. So for example, right here I've got 9, they've got 19, we've got 21. Just take note of that at the end of the round. And essentially whoever's got most at the end of the 4 rounds will have defense. So yeah, essentially if you're comfortable that you've got more lives overall than them, I would definitely recommend just sitting back and relaxing. Now, it is possible for you to win an offense. It is rare. It is rare. But it is possible. Now, on certain maps, it's better to push certain points and whatnot, but I'm not going to go map specific with this. I might touch on a few Tuscan tips and tricks, but really you don't want to be pushing too much. So as you can see here, there's pretty much nowhere we're getting B. There's 15 seconds left on the hill, and I've communicated to the team, right, let's play the objective, let's play for kills, try and even up that lives. And as you can see at the moment, we're getting absolutely shredded. The rest of my team unfortunately are falling, and we're down currently 5 lives. So I'm not even worried about the point, because I know as soon as I get on the point, I will be straight away, I'd kill. There's not a guaranteed kill for me there, so I'm just hunting for the kill. It's the only in those situations which I would recommend not stacking the point or getting on the point, as if you're sort of in the spawn, just run the lives down. That's essentially what we need to do. Defense side, playing with an AR specifically on this map, I'm always running to A. There's no reason for me not to run to A. However, I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. I'd maybe have one guy over at B on this map. Obviously it's different on Gavutu, but I'd still split it. It's definitely worth splitting, just for that info. Worst case scenario, you pull them back. You want to send more people to the one you don't want to be losing as much. So for example on here, you want to be sending more people to well, it's probably good to 2-2 split, to be fair, because if they get B, it's an easy win for them, because the eventual spawns on this map specifically mean that if they capture B, and they've still got to capture A after that, the chances are they're going to probably do it, because it's quite simple to do so. So the next tip I'm going to have for you is give up on an objective when they've almost pretty much captured it. So unfortunately, we managed to let them nearly get 3 ticks on B. Now that is not ideal. That's not what you want to happen, because essentially it means they can, if all 4 of them are on it, it can literally take 2 seconds. It's no time at all. So my thinking is, right, let's just make sure they can't get this. So I'm communicating to the team, we all need to play around B. We all need to be in decent positions. Ideally on this map, you'd have 1 P5 watching this sort of area, 1 in green watching their jump up from church and their church push, 1 on plat, which is just above B, looking through ramp, or we call it, into the bottom church, and then 1 in the back spawn just watching the flank. That's the ideal setup, but you've got to win the gunfight still. That's the thing. Now, as I've said, it is easier to win a defense than it is an offense, just because you know what they've got to come to the objective at the end of the day. So yeah, you really want to put all your eggs in one basket as soon as they've got people down, and you want to be around the hill so that if they jump on it, you've always got someone to, someone to jump on it to get them off. For example, on this, they've only got B to capture. It is pointless having someone at P1. Chances of them running through it are slim anyway, although they might want to flank. But say they kill you, you then spawn out, and say they kill me here, you're all the way in P1. They jump on point. How long is it going to be until you can get onto it? You all want to be around the point wherever possible. Now, just taking a look at the lives count, this is something you always want to keep an eye on because, again, as I said, round 5 is determined by lives. That was a shocking gunfight. Round 5 is determined by lives, and we're pretty far ahead here. Now, they're probably in their head thinking, right, they've got one more attack because chances are there's 30 seconds left. Say they get 4 down. I can't get on this bloody tank. Again, you always need one person here. This is the key. It's 5 to 11. They've got one more attack, so really they've got to go for it. So we've got a pretty much. There we are. That should be the round. So at this point we are up on lives. I'm not just nading my teammate. We are up on lives, and we won the round, which is key. Now, if this gets changed to ticks, which I'm sure it will do, which is essentially where the round 5 is determined by how many ticks you have on the objectives on your offense rounds. It's what Cold War was eventually. I would always recommend, because obviously this video is going to be here forever. This isn't going to, I'm not going to be able to change this once they've changed it to ticks. So I would always recommend going for the odd capture. So for example, on this map it'd be B. A similar thing happened on Raid on Cold War. Always go for the pool control point because they're going to least expect it and you can get at least a couple of ticks on there. That's what I would do, just because it's so easy to defend otherwise when they're solely focused on that. Which is why if you guys watch competitive side of Call of Duty, you'll see a lot of the time they rush through direct 4-man hit B just to get that first couple initial ticks. And it's the hardest one to hit. So ideally, when you're playing offense, the one you want to capture first is B, although A allows you to get more time. So the next tip I'm going to have for you is use time. Now I know this is obvious, but you only get a certain amount of time on these offense rounds. So, and you really want to utilize this time to make sure that you can, dwindle down their lives as much as possible. Now this might necessarily mean not stacking the objective. So, say for example, we've cleared them off, there's 4 down, and we want to hop A. As it's not currently done on ticks, there is no reason in the world for us to capture it other than gaining more time in order to kill them more. That is literally the only reason they ever need to capture it at the moment until they patch it, which I hope they do. So, don't stack it. Unless it's the final point and it can definitely win you the round, there is no need to stack it. What I'd much recommend doing, say for example there's 4 down, there's still A and B to capture, so let's say in this situation there's still A and B to capture, there's 4 down, just have 1 or 2 on the hard point. You don't need 4 of them, and what that allows is, 1, you don't capture it as quickly but you're still making progress on that point, and the time on the bottom left of your screen is frozen. And what it allows the rest of your team to do is get kills in a longer time. Now, if you're getting absolutely slayed and your team can't get the kills and you can't win the gunfights, I'd probably stack. But if you've got a decent team and you know your team are going to be able to slay, don't be too fussed about stacking the point, because at the end of the day, it won't win you the games unless you can definitely capture both points, which is rare. But that should be a plan B. Plan A on your offense rounds is to make sure you can outslay them. That's essentially all it is. Now, we're in a very good position here in this gameplay in the background. We've got B, and we've got a minute to capture A. Now, you're probably thinking, this round's lasted a while, and this goes back to my last point. We've managed to get the enemy team down to this amount of lives with still a minute to play for the hill. Now, that's because we didn't completely, fully capture. See, I don't know, that was a silly challenge. I don't know why I jumped out like that. I should have at least tried to camera him. Yeah, we weren't all on the 1 point at the same time, which allowed us plenty more time to slay out, which is exactly what's happened here. And it's left us in a fairly beneficial situation, but we still do have to capture the point at the end of the day. Leaving it down to a 2v1, me and this teammate. Now for a 1v1. Now this is where the palms get a little bit sweaty. So I have no idea where he is. He was mid last time, so I'm sort of watching his push through you, thinking he'll jump this. Now he's on the point. Check that Godheady. He must be around the other side, so I chow. Unfortunately, I just get awful time when he comes around the other side. But hey, that's how it is. Now, when you can guarantee, or not guarantee, when you can pretty much tell they're going to be pushing one objective, so for here, most teams tend to push A, at least 2 people should be throwing nades. It's an easy way to slow them down, get some damage out, and even kill people. So what that would mean is that it delays their push up to A. So if you imagine the map from a bird's eye view perspective, and you've got them off A, you've got someone in B, because that side that you should still send at least one person B, as I've previously said, and you've managed to get them off the back of A. You then push forward as a unit along the whole of the map. This allows you to have complete control of most of the map, and as I don't know whether you guys have ever played War. It's a very old game mode. I think it was first established in World at War, COD 5. So you guys may not be aware of it, but it's similar to that in the fact that control is you gain possession of the map. Once you have possession of the map, you move forward until they're trapped in the spawn. It was a lot easier to do on Cold War because the spawns are a lot more sticky and a lot more easy to read. So it's a little bit harder on this, but essentially what you want to do, if you get to a certain point and you're relatively near their spawn, hold that possession. If you're the only one alive and you're in their spawn, don't worry about the objective, because what they'll multiple will come at you and they know exactly where you are because you're on the objective, and it tells them that you're on the objective. The best thing to do, if you manage to get up the map somewhat, is just get killed. Be annoying. Be a diversion for the rest of your team. Which is why if you guys probably watch a couple of CDL games here or there. A lot of the times when you're listening on the listen-ins, they get kills in their sort of area of the map, and they say, right, I'm holding progression. That just means they're being there, they're being annoying, and they don't want to lose that map control that they've currently got. That's all that is. That's all that means. So moving on to this gameplay right here, they only have B to capture right now. Now instead of us wrapping back to our spawn, which we could do to sort of help our teammates out, we can still see B from where we are, and we've got good map control here because we're sort of mid-map, which is why we didn't completely run out. Now, at this point, they've got 46 seconds and 6 lives to push the objective, so they've maybe got maybe a split push, 2 split pushes, or 1 solid push here, but we can afford to lose a couple of lives here or there, because we are up generally on lives if you've been keeping count. Now this little spot here, which I'm about to show you, is a lovely spot to see into this whole area. If you're an AR and you want to defend B, this is perfect. You can sort of beam someone top green. They don't often pre-aim this area. You can turn around to the flank, which is exactly what I'm doing here, just in case they push. And you can see actually into top plat. If you strafe a little bit further right, I mean, I'm not going to do it, frustratingly. But yeah, you can see all the way to top plat through to sort of P5 area. So there it is, 2-2. And we have secured the defensive round as a result of slaying them out. So as I said, it's not currently done on ticks, so the main thing you want to do, if you are strong on defense, which is what people tend to be, on control. I think I get shot on here, if I remember correctly. No, there we are. Don't be silly, don't be silly. So yeah, we played that really well. Now, right here, there's 4 on it. I know I could jump on and stop it, but at the end of the day, it's a death. It's an instant death. You can tell there's 4 on it. Best case scenario, you're going to just, trade it out. That's the best thing that's going to happen. So yeah, as you can see, they've captured A. I've sort of not stayed in that area. I've progressed over to B to sort of hold this mid-map control towards the B side. What this will do, it will force them. You've really got to think of this as almost, not like chess, but it is a strategy. You do have to use your head. The best gunny won't always win the map here, but you've got to think of it as from a bird's eye perspective, you want control of half the map, at least around the point. So, as I said, you need someone in P5, you need someone in sort of green or fire, not fire, green or top church sort of side, and watching their jump up. You need someone in the flank, and then you need someone in sort of platform over B, really. That way, no one can get through. And this is one of the big game modes where being able to communicate in a team is vital because you can communicate where people are watching, what lanes are locked down. So, for example, if this is one of the biggest mistakes I see people make when they are in a team. I mean, what is that timing? The one time I decide to push and I get chowed out, thankfully win the gunfight. Yeah, one of the frustrating things I do see when playing, when I see teams play, is they don't communicate what they're watching. There should never be silence in comms. Never be silence in comms. Yeah, never be silence in comms. So even if you're not shooting someone or you're not seeing someone, on where you're watching, communicate where you're watching so that, you know, the team knows where they can't get through. So I've got streaks to burn here. We are up by 13 lives. We're absolutely spanking them. Yeah, let's see how we get on here. Again, this is why defense is such an important thing to be able to get to round 5. Just because it's so easy to hold. You get a good setup, you've got a full team. Happy days. Again, awful timing. Right, they've got 3 more lives. Make that. So essentially, what that means is that if we kill someone, they're not coming back, and they've got 5 seconds to get this. There we are, and that's the game. I get 49 limbs, 6 objective kills. I don't know how many defends I get. It will say towards the end of the video. So yeah, I know it's a bit of a longer video. I know I go on. I talk a lot. Unfortunately for you guys, but I hope it has helped. If you have any questions about Control or any map-specific questions on about Gavutu or Tuscan, leave a comment down below and I will be sure to help. Till then, I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.